the brief but spectacular life of Bunson Pala.
My name is Bunson Pala. My story begins in Bangkok, Thailand. I am 22, young and naive. A very persuasive friend of a friend asks me, "Are you interested in going to America?" America? Yes, America. She says, "Me? I am only a simple country girl." "Yes, you. You have a very special skill," she tells me. "What's that?" "Sewing," she says. "Fashion in America is big business, and you are in demand. You can make a lot of money." Yes, I can sew. I will go to America. It's too good to be true, but with dollar signs floating before me, I brush away the fears. What's the worst that could happen? If you don't like it, you can always come home, I tell myself. This is a chance in a million. "Here, wear this gold chain. You must look nice, like a tourist." She hands me 10 $100 bills. And when I find out how much it is, the equivalent in baht, I almost faint. Can this be real? "Your passport!" I look in my passport. I see my picture, but the name is not mine. This person, "Get in the plane!" And then there I am. Before I know it, I am 40,000 feet in the sky. It is the first time I'm in the clouds. My heart beats faster and faster. In this new land, America, I find myself facing Auntie Suni. I take one look at her, and I know, you are not a nice person, I think. "Please return the gold chain, the 10 $100 bills, and your passport." It sinks in. This is no fun adventure. The next morning, forget the jet lag, 7 a.m. I find myself in front of a sewing machine. I find myself in front of a sewing machine with many other girls. It is the longest day of my life. Auntie's incessant yelling keeps me awake. "Too sloppy, too crooked, too untidy, watch the seams." At midnight, one of the girls leaded me, dazed and confused, fatigued, to my room, our room. A room shared by 9 of us. There is no bed. We sleep on the floor on a piece of fabric. And so the days go by, slow, laborious days. Auntie Suni tells me I owe her $4,000 for the plane ticket. I will have to work hard to pay this back. At $2 an hour, I calculate the number of hours before it's paid off. "Don't worry," she says. "You don't have to pay rent." Some of the girls, they escape. Security becomes tighter and tighter. I see the barbed wire at the top of the fence. Guards at the gate. My heart breaks. Auntie Suni warns us, "Don't forget, we know everything about your family in Thailand. If you even try and escape, you will put your family in danger." Dear Lord Buddha, How long can I bear this confinement? I count the days, but after a while, I lose track. Every day is a repetition of the days before. 15 months later, we are rudely awakened from our sleep. It's the law enforcement at our door. We are led out of the apartment, all 72 of us, and Auntie Suni and her entourage. We are finally free. In the state of California, an official informs us everyone is entitled to minimum wage. What does this mean? All I can think of is, will I be sent home? Things do get better. We get a reprieve. We are allowed to stay here in America. We find that as we settle in our new life, we actually like living in the US of A. We even learn to have fun. One day, let's go to the Thailand Plaza. They have karaoke tonight, my roommates say. We sing to the bouncing ball in our off-pitch voices. We dance the night away. I see from the corner of my eye a Thai man smiling at us. He approaches us. Can I join in the fun? He says. Why not? At last call, he offers to drive us home. At our apartment building, my roommates hop off. But just as I am about to leave, the man locks the door and speeds off. Frightened, I follow him to his apartment. He locks the door behind me. You are very pretty, he says. Please, I say, what are you going to do? Oh, don't be coy. I see how you were eyeing me. He comes close to me. I smell the alcohol. I am repulsed. Please, don't. He smacks me. The shock of this sting is even more painful than the brute force. He pulls down my blouse. The next day, I hear loud banging on the door. Open up! Open up! This is... The man shuffles me to the bathroom. Don't you dare say a word! I hear angry voices. Then I hear insistent knocking on the bathroom door. Bunsong, are you there? Open up! Crying and shaking all over, I open the door and fall in my cousin's arms. She takes me to the police station. Chansey from the Thai Community Development Center comes soon after. What happened to you? She is shocked, outraged, and angry. We remain in the police station for 12 hours. With Chansey's help, we filed charges against my perpetrator with the LAPD. Chansey takes me back to her house. She tells me I must call my family in Thailand. It is harder than I thought, but I finally blurted out. Ma, Pa, I have been raped. Oh dear, oh dear, you're no longer a virgin. The shame, the shame. Oh. Somehow, it's my fault. I understand. It's a shameful thing for an unmarried woman not to be a virgin. Never mind that I am raped. It's consensual! The man protests to the police. With a previous conviction, he doesn't stand a chance. They are ready to lock him up, but his sisters post bail. She's a whore! The sister hisses at me. A court date is set. For a while, I am isolated from him. Chansey arranges for me to work in another factory and to stay somewhere else. I think I am safe. A village elder visits me. Bunsom, listen to me. I'm here to help you. Come. She takes me to the same Thai restaurant. It is him. You cannot blame me entirely, he says. I know you wanted it too, but I'm willing to forget the past to make it okay with you. Here, I brought you jewelry. This is proof of my sincerity. I will marry you. It is best, says the village elder. It is the only way to restore your good name and bury the shame you bring to your family and to the community. My shame? I feel the tears well in my eyes. To my surprise, he puts his arms around me. Don't cry, Bunsom. I love you. I know you know this, don't you? I'm confused. You love me? Perhaps this is best. I agree to marry him. Is there a more miserable existence than being a wife of someone you cannot love? Why did I agree to this? Because I am now married to him, I am forced to drop all sexual assault charge. Every day, well, almost every day, he rapes me. On the day he does not, when he's too drunk or incapable, I thank the Lord Buddha. Every time he mounts me, I scream, "No! Get off of me!" But the words won't come out of my mouth. What can I do? I am helpless against his unrelenting assault. And the ultimate insult? The monies from the settlement sue for back wages. When they finally come in, all that hard-earned money, it finds its way to my husband's pocket. When there's nothing left, he leaves me. Yes, there is another woman. I realize imprisonment doesn't have to have physical walls. Prison can be internal too. In a way, his leaving me is a blessing. It's another form of freedom. When life deals you with a blow, you rebound. I am 30, an age when I think I'm too old for love. I meet a man, a Laotian. He's a friend of a husband of another garment worker. His name is OJ. No, not OJ as in orange juice or the infamous celebrity accused of murdering his wife. This OJ is the sweetest, most loving person I am privileged to know. Then comes the final blow. The doctor's face is grim. You have breast cancer, he says. I hear the list of side effects. I decide not to go treatment. A year later, the doctor performs a mastectomy. I am fortunate. Despite the looming death threat, OJ proposes, and we marry in Las Vegas. In time, Slowly but surely, the cancer spreads to my brain. I would rather die at home in the loving care of my husband than in a cold, sterile hospital. 2 months after my 43rd birthday, and there you have it. This is my brief but a spectacular life as a survivor. First, as an enslaved garment worker, then an abused wife, then finally, a disease. I'd like to think that there is a purpose to all this suffering on earth. The Lord Buddha says that there is many paths you can take to reach the top of a mountain, but not all trails lead you there. In death, I think I have found the path. I am touched that you think of honoring me at this year's anniversary celebration. Me? What have I done that is deserving? I can almost hear the scorn. What meritorious act did she perform? What outstanding service did she render? It's taking me moving into the realm of the other existence to realize that there is a purpose to every life. Sometimes we undervalue ourselves. Sometimes we don't understand that a life lived is enough. I received an email from Henry, the playwright, who wanted to showcase the life of Bunsom. My heart just broke. Everything I found out about her was just so sad. My heart just broke for her. Bunsom Palat's story is so relatable and it's heartbreaking, and yet I know that it's a human experience, and I think everyone should know about it and really hear about it. I think that Bunsom Palat's story deserves a wide audience. It's so relatable, it's heartbreaking, but it definitely tells you a human experience, and I think she deserves to be known. The story means how to be a survivor for me. Her being resilient and not giving up, seeing the good in every sadness and every this unfortunate event that happens to her. I think that's what it means to me. Art brings human life and experience to people in my community. The part of the story of Bunsom that touched me the most is just her resilientness. The fact that she could smile at the end of it and still say, oh, but there is good in all of this. I think that's the most touching, is the bouncing back. That line where she says, you bounce back, you rebound, that's the most touching part. Yeah, it is the ultimate human experience. The ups and the downs they will experience, the survival characteristic that Bunsom exudes, that's something that they need to see. The part of the story that hits me hard is the fact that nobody knows about her. She experienced so much about life, and when I looked her up on Google and I'll research her, I didn't see anything about her. I wanted to know more, and I wanted to see her photo. I wanted to see her family life, her writing, and I didn't see anything. And I think that was really heartbreaking to me. I feel like people should know people like her, that experience so much of life, so much richness, the downs and the ups, the love and the sacrifice, the abandonment, the survival. That's all part of us, and I think everyone should know more about her and about people like her. Being the person to be her voice and to play this part, I guess for the first time, is amazing, but it's such a weight and responsibility, because I want people to have a realistic view of what her life is like. And thanks to playwright like Henry, who wrote a beautiful piece about it, they get a small snippet of it, and I just get to be the voice of what he wrote. So it's an amazing responsibility.
I think I just felt really touched from her story and so many things that she went through in such a short period of time, and was able to still overcome that in the end and be able to find love and just live her own life in the end. I think I do try to take my own personal emotions of feeling either trapped, sad, betrayed, sadness, and then try to apply that in the movement and particular section, and happiness, being in love, and try to really portray that idea through the movement. I felt that I think it was also quite shocking to hear how close it is to where we are, how not that long ago this happened, and it's probably still happening very close to us than we all think it is, and that is very upsetting and sad. And I feel like just bringing people's awareness and being a part of this type of project, I appreciate that, and being able to let people get an experience and a feeling of maybe a glimpse of something that happened, to be able to either just acknowledge or do something about it. With each person, we go through our own trials and things that bring us down, things that we feel trapped in, and how can we overcome that to move forward, to be in a happier place. And even though these bad things and really awful things happen, how can we still appreciate being alive? So I think I'm trying to connect more so in that aspect of things, challenges in life that you're able to overcome.
When Henry was asking me to work on this piece, it's such an honor. And when I try to think and compose on this piece, I would say it was a very exciting factor was that he also brought in the dancer and the choreographer. So that definitely became the core of how the music can be incorporated. The dancing and the narration, because I feel that would be the core of this performance. And the music provides the sound. The narration was so expressive and so emotional. I try to work the music so it can show a contrast to let the motion of the dancer as well as the voice of the narrator to bring out the emotion. So I want to make a confession that the music of this story includes some original material from my own and some original material from other great composers. Instead of a finished piece in my head, lots of magic happened when the narrator, the dancer, and Henry and myself, when we got together. When I sense that emotion, then I would play with it through the notes as well as, I would say, the beats. The cello itself, its tone could be very expressive, and when it works with either a narrator or when it's using a song compared to singer, I think part of my work is to make sure it conveys emotion, but without overpowering it. When we have a chance to look through her life, then we are able to see the entire life of her, and actually brought out the hope. When I use the song material, I try to bring out the hope part.
I was asked by Chancy Martorell, the executive director of Thai Community Development Center, to write a monologue about this person's life. I had no idea about her life, but when I heard his story, it struck a chord in me, because I grew up in Malaysia, and I know a lot of women who were in similar positions, who are poor and who practically have no voice. But her story is so remarkable. She was one of the 72 Thai garment workers who were involved in the ElMonte slavery case. And as if that's not enough, she was there for more than a year, being locked up and doing nothing but sewing from 7 to midnight every day. As though it was not enough, when she was freed, she met a man who raped her, and rather than society or the community being supportive of her or being sympathetic to her, she was viewed as someone who disgraced them. And to me, that speaks volumes. I think in America, we are becoming more and more aware of sexual assault, but I think in the world per se, people don't understand what sexual assault is. And the story touched me, so I felt like I was compelled to write this little piece. We're just scratching the surface right now. I think there's a deeper story and much more details. For this 22nd anniversary of the ElMonte Thai garment slavery case, we are presenting a very short version of this. I hope that this will bring light to the plight of third world country women and also society in general. I think we can learn a lot about sexual assault from the Bunsom Palat story. Her story is not typical, and yet it is also reflective of women in general. Women are often viewed in different light. When women are victims of sexual assault, we often think it's the women's fault, and that resonated with me. I grew up in a family of women, so I totally understand how women feel when they are being sexually assaulted, and it happens all the time in the workplace, even in America. Maybe not as extreme as Bunsom's case, but there's a story to be learned from her life, and that's what I wanted to bring out. It really made me sad. It made me want to honor that spirit, that people who have no voice. It made me want to tell her story, basically. And I thought that if we do it in a theatrical setting, and we had music and we had dance and we had the spoken word, that's a way to communicate to people where they might be able to understand something like this, something horrific, and we can make that beautiful.
I was really honored to be invited to work on this project. This particular topic, the element of trafficking and also the element of victims of assault, have been very strong in my awareness recently. It was a topic that I had been around and I had been thinking about, and as a result I felt like the choreography just came out of me more quickly.